Following up on what's next for the Missoula Mercantile.
Yeah, the city's attorney is telling us he expects a judge to decide in just the next few days whether a Bozeman developer can tear part of that down for a hotel. A group called Preserve Historic Missoula is suing to stop the project. Once the judge decides, we'll be able to tell whether two top city officials sign off on the partial demolition, while the Mercantile saga remains one of Missoula's most divisive topics. Some residents are hoping the debate ends soon.
After a certain point, it becomes a bit of a blight, and so making it more economically viable is going to be more beneficial in the end.
I think it's a very wonderful old landmark building, and has a lot of character, and it would be really a shame to downtown to lose that building.
I think that there's a possibility for a compromise to where they can make it work.
And while we wait out the judge's decision, you might have noticed construction work happening on that building right now.
We sent Montana McLaughlin to find out why workers are there when no demolition decisions have been made. Montana.
As Steve Laurel, I've made close to 50 phone calls and sent 50 emails the last 2 days just to track all of this information down. A worker on site told us all he knows is that his company, Environmental Contractors, was hired to remove sheetrock and asbestos from the building. Now, asbestos is a toxic material that, if inhaled, is proven to cause lung and respiratory disease, even cancer. But if the fate of the Merc is still up in the air, we wanted to know who's paying for all of this work and why.
If you've walked by, you've seen it. Workers in white suits, bobcats in action. But if the fate of the Missoula Mercantile is still undecided, what's going on? We went to find out. A worker told us they've been removing asbestos from the Merc ceiling and windows since November. Asbestos, that developer Homebase Montana told us, was never fully cleaned up when the building was a Macy's department store 6 years ago. That's because renovation plans fell flat. And now, with the weather, the asbestos removal is causing problems. Crews told me that the process to remove asbestos has put some holes and cracks in the roof of the Mercantile, causing snow and ice to leak inside of it this winter. So who's paying for it? Development Services Manager Don Veru told us the city gave Missoula Mercantile LLC a permit to clean it out in October. We found out that company, Missoula Mercantile LLC, is the development partner of Homebase Montana. Homebase plans to partially demolish the building, and they told us they're also paying for the cleanup. But here's the catch. Property records show Homebase doesn't even own the building. We found out cleaning up a building like that isn't cheap and certainly isn't easy. We went online and found sometimes asbestos cleanup can cost more than demolition itself. And new cleanup asbestos methods even cut out entire sections of a building. Homebase didn't get back to us on which method they're using, but the city says no matter who owns it, the asbestos has to go.
We dug even further and found the building's current owners, Octagon Partners, has over $20,000 of unpaid property taxes. We reached out to them, and their manager, J.P. Williamson, told us they've always paid and will pay everything owed in the next 48 hours. But he also told us he's frustrated about this whole lawsuit.
We're paying taxes on a property that we have been unable to sell due to the actions of a preservation group that opposes the demolition of the building and has filed an appeal to the city's decision. We anticipate a ruling on that process shortly.
So the bottom line for all of this for the Missoula Mercantile is that it's still a waiting game, but it sounds like the end could be coming soon. Reporting live in Missoula, Montana McLaughlin, NBC Montana.
And we're following up